Good morning and welcome to an exciting day to talk business. It's Business 360 and my name is Blyden Okem. This Business 360 will look at the highlights of the biggest stories in the world of business. We'll look at inflation rate from an African point of view, job cuts in the US. Most likely, the world economy faces weakest growth since 1990 according to IMF, and we begin from there. The global economy is set to grow at roughly 3% over the next 5 years, the slowest pace since 1990, according to the head of the International Monetary Fund. Kristalina Georgieva said the path ahead was rough and foggy, and warned that cooperation to address the problems was becoming more difficult. She spoke in Washington ahead of the IMF's annual meetings. In her remarks, she called for more help for low-income countries. That's the outlook from IMF and the concerns about world economy. Let's move to China. China has imposed further sanctions on Hua Bikin, Taiwan's de facto ambassador to the United States, prohibiting her and family members from entering the mainland, Hong Kong and Macau, according to state media reports. The sanction announced by China's Taiwan Affairs Office also prohibit investors and firms related to Hua from cooperating with mainland organizations and individuals. This came after Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen's and his meeting with U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy during the stopover in the United States on Wednesday, last August. After former U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan, China imposed sanctions including an entry ban on 7 Taiwan and Taiwanese officials and lawmakers, including Hua, whom it accused of being independence diehards, drawing condemnation from the island. China considers Taiwan its own territory. Those are the concerns around China and its relationship with Taiwan amid the U.S. interest in Taiwan. In Africa, Kenya intends to improve its bilateral trade with Rwanda in the areas of cooperation, youth empowerment, and information, as well as communication technology. Both governments signed an agreement on 10 areas of cooperation following the President of Kenya's 2-day visit to Rwanda. The program is intended to promote development, collaboration in panel services, diplomatic training, agriculture, and health, according to reports. The outlook from an African point of view. To end the first assessment of the 38-month ECF-supported program, IMF officials and Zambian authorities established a staff-level agreement on economic measures. After the evaluation is accepted by IMF management and formally completed by the IMF Executive Board, Zambia will have access to about $188 million in financing. The agreement was authorized by the IMF Executive Board on August 31, 2022, for a total of 978 million SDR, an equivalent of $1.3 billion. The agreement seems to be forging ahead for Zambia. In the first quarter of 2023, stock market investors snubbed Airtel Africa for its market rival MTN Nigeria, as the telecommunications company battled for domestic and foreign portfolio investments. During the period between January to March, portfolio investors reduced their investment in Airtel Africa, leading the shareholders of the firm suffering an 18.58% decline in their investment held within the telco. Airtel's shares plummeted in value to 1,331 naira 1 kobo as of Thursday from 1,635 naira it opened the year with, on the back of low demand from portfolio investors. As a result, shareholders of Airtel Africa lost a whopping 1.14 trillion naira in their total investment in the company, Also, Airtel Africa's market valuation slumped to 5 trillion naira from 6.14 trillion naira. Quite concerning from an Airtel point of view. Still the Nigerian outlook. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPC) has announced that it will continue to explore its hydrocarbon resources, even if international oil companies IOCs take a walk from the country. Speaking at the Society of Petroleum Engineers 2023 edition of the annual Oloibiri Lecture Series and Energy Forum in Abuja on Thursday, the Group Chief Executive Officer Malam Malakiri explained that the world is not leaving fossil fuels anytime soon, despite pressure from Europe and America to transition to cleaner fuels. Kerry argued that crude oil will continue to be relevant in the coming years, especially since it is not possible to change all vehicles and tricycles to electric vehicles by 2035. The NNPC has made a huge investment in gas exploration to become self-reliant and build Nigeria's gas resources, according to Kerry. It would be a good time to move to global economy to look at economic indices and index around the world, beginning with economic calendar. Expected data released for today, Friday, April 7, 2023, will center around the 1:30 p.m. data expected to be released. While looking at the economic calendar, the projection would be key data that will be released today around 12:30 p.m. It is expected that deposit growth year-on-year in March 24th for India would be out with a 10.3%. There are no immediate forecasts regarding this. The market seems quite open and the indices are expected to come out around 12:30 p.m. But moving to the highlighted points, the 1:30 p.m. U.S. unemployment rate. U.S. unemployment rate previously stood at 3.6% for March, U.S. unemployment for March. So for April, it stood at 3.6%. The forecast is expected to drop to 3.5%. The consensus outlook is at 3.6%. So by 1:30 p.m., most analysts and economists will be looking forward to how this can impact the market moving forward. Still by 1:30 p.m., the U.S. non-farm payrolls will be out. Previously, it was at 311,000 in February. The March outlook is expected to be out, and the consensus outlook pictures it to drop to 239,000, and the focus is at 250,000. We'll get to find out about U.S. job cut surge. Talking about the U.S. The U.S.-based employers announced 89,700 job cuts in March, 319% above 21,387 a year earlier, as higher interest rates are forcing companies to cut costs. It was the third time this year that cuts were higher than the corresponding month a year earlier. Considering the first quarter, employers announced 270,416 cuts, the highest first quarter total since 2020, led by the tech sector. That's a concern around the US. Let's look at Africa's indices. The Bank of Uganda left its benchmark interest rate unchanged for the third time in a row at 10% on April 6, 2023, as expected, keeping borrowing costs at the highest level since 2019. The decision was aimed at supporting the domestic economy while also containing inflationary pressures. Uganda's inflation eased for the fifth straight month to 9% in March 2023, its lowest since August last year, and it is expected to continue falling in the months ahead due to lower energy prices, improved global supply chains, exchange rate stability, and moderate demand pressures. That's the outlook in the country, Uganda. It would be a good time to move to commodity markets, beginning with food prices. World Food Price Index. Food prices fall 20.5% from records. The Food and Agriculture Organization Food Price Index dropped for a 12-month to 126.9 points in March 2023, hitting the lowest level since July 2021 and down 20.5% from the record hit in March 2022. The cost of cereals declined 5.6%, with international prices falling 7.1% for wheat, amid ample global supplies and strong competition among exporters. Prices for vegetable oils went down 3% as lower soy, rapeseed, and sunflower oil quotations more than offsets higher world palm oil prices. And cost of dairy aged 0.8% lower, driven by cheese and milk powders, while butter prices increased. On the other hand, prices rose for meat at 0.8%. Prices also went up for sugar 1.5%, with the index hitting its highest level since October 2016 amid declining production prospects in India, Thailand, and China. It would be a good time to go to the charts indicating World Food Price Index. The charts indicating World Food Price Index. But while we get to x-ray what the chart would do, let's first look at the standings of agricultural market this morning, what the price of soybeans is in line with the index. The outline of agricultural market this morning has shown a drop in soybeans price, reflecting the outcome 18.5 points, a negative 1.22% decline. Current price for soybeans $1,492 per bushel. For wheat, its current price is $675 per bushel, downward by 6.5 points, a 0.95% decline. Lumber is a little here, little there, not really going higher, but a 0.9 points increase. Palm oil price is also dropping this morning. Let's quickly go to the charts indicating food prices and its fall over the period of almost 1 year. From April 2022, food price index was at 158.4 points. It went further downward, slowing down after the debacle of the war between the Ukrainian and Russia. There have been a slowdown amid also high price of energy in the market. But food prices have slowed down a bit by July 2022 to 140.6 index points, and is going even further downward as at October 2022 it dropped to 135.4 index level, January 2023 130.3 index level, and finally 126.9 index level in March. The agricultural market has shown different indexes. We've seen the price of rice going slightly downward and the rest of the agricultural markets. The implied volatility of gold option has skewed to the upside in recent weeks after a raft of economic data indicated growing weaknesses in the overall economy. What indicators are traders watching when it comes to the precious metal? Let's get to talk about precious metal now, gold. Following insights by Scott Bois, CEO, Proper Trading, as presented by the CME Group. Scott Bois.
Prices are knocking on the door of record highs, with recession fears driving market sentiment. The previous highs were reached in the summer of 2020 when the pandemic uncertainty drove investors towards the safety of gold. However, this time around, it's the fear of an economic slowdown. Recent data is pointing to a slowdown in the economy as factory orders, manufacturing activity, the services sector, and JOLTS job openings are all trending lower. CME's gold options markets have responded to this price action as well, and traders are watching this pricing very intently. The sentiment to the upside can best be reflected using the CME's CVOL index, which produces a more representative measure of the market's expectation of 30-day forward risk using equal weighting to option strikes across the entire implied volatility curve.
Well, while there's volatility in the market on the upside for gold, let's move to the metal market to see what the outlines are this morning. The price of gold, silver, copper, steel, and the rest of the metals. The metal market this morning. So the intent of this market has been that of positivity on one hand and negativity on the other hand. Gold prices this morning has shown slight decline after going past the 2000 mark, dropping by 12.34 points, a negative 0.61 percentage decline. Current price for gold is $2008 per ounce. For silver, it's $25 per ounce, slightly upward this morning. Copper, a little here, a little there, still upward by 30 points. Price for steel, 4,027 Chinese yuan per ton. Let's look at the price of energy then. Crude oil, the US crude, which is the West Texas Intermediate crude, $80.7 per barrel, upward by 0.09 points, a 0.11 percentage appreciation. For Brent crude, which is Nigeria's price benchmark, it's $85 per barrel this morning, slightly upward this morning by 0.13 points, a 0.15 percentage appreciation. Natural gas downward this morning, a negative 6.68 percentage decline. Gasoline slightly dropping, heating oil dropping slightly, and coal dropping slightly by 4 points this morning. It will be a good time to x-ray the events regarding the foreign exchange market. According to the World Bank, in the foreign exchange market, Naira lost 10% value in 2022. The outlines have been this. The Naira lost 10.2% of its value in 2022, and this came as rising food and fuel prices were responsible for high inflation in Nigeria in 2022. The Global Bank revealed this in its latest Africa's Pulse report for April 2023. It explained that the worst performing currency in the sub-Saharan African region was the Ghanaian cedi in 2022, which lost 40% of its value in the year. It stated that the currency has already lost 20% of its value so far in 2023. Commenting on the Naira, the bank said, other currencies with significant losses last year include those of Sudan 23.6%, Malawi 20.7%, and the Gambian 14.6%. Let's move to the market then to see the value of Naira at the international exchange window against the US dollar. The performances this morning for Naira has been that of a steady flow, neither really going up, no volatility in this particular market. For the past month, it's been within this range, 459.83 Naira, equaling $1. On a yearly basis, you can see it had gain, talking about US dollar against the Naira, gaining 10.76%, according to World Bank report also. The Euro against the Naira, Euro had gained 0.56 points against the Naira, current price 501 Naira, equaling €1. For the pounds against the Naira, 573 Naira, equaling £1, upward by 0.63 points. Let's move to the parallel market to see the prices in the black market as it differs from the prices at the international and exchange window. Dollar to Naira, exchange rate 745 Naira equaling $1. At the buying rate and selling rate 741 Naira equaling $1. 927 Naira equaling £1 at buying rate and selling rate 912 Naira equaling £1. 803 Naira at buying rate equaling €1 and 781 Naira at selling rate equaling €1 at the average. To cryptocurrency market. Dogecoin dropped after Twitter stopped using the token's dog as its logo. The cryptocurrency was recently down 8.5% to $0.085. Doge surged on April 3rd after Elon Musk's social media company inexplicably removed its bird logo, replacing it with Dogecoin Shiba Inu mascot. After Tesla and Twitter CEO Elon Musk randomly changed the legacy bluebird Twitter icon to that of Dogecoin, upon which the meme coin's price skyrocketed. A Bitcoin purist has accused him, Mr. Musk now, of intentionally pumping the price of Dogecoin for his own gain and goals. Specifically, popular Bitcoin maximalist Jimmy Song believes that Musk's recent change of the Twitter icon to the Doge logo was a ploy to settle his financial obligation after acquiring the social media network. Well, let's move to the market to see the value of the cryptocurrency market this morning. The state of Bitcoin, Ether, and the rest. The market this morning has shown some declines for the crypto outlook. Bitcoin dropping by 78 points, a negative 0.28% decline. The struggle continues after hitting the 29-point mark early this week. Current price for Bitcoin is 27,900. It's time to look at Nigeria's stock market amid the event that took place yesterday. The Nigerian stock market continued its downswing on Thursday as the equity capitalization lost 13.53 billion naira to sell off in Sterling Bank, Ethana, and others. According to market data, the capitalization depreciated by 0.04% to 28.86 trillion naira against the 28.88 trillion naira posted previously on Wednesday. The all-share index crashed to 52,994.13, losing 24.84 basis points by the close of trading. ICO led the gainers list with a 5.26% rise in share price to move from 57 kobo to 60 kobo per share. Let's look at the bottom losers. UPL topped the losers table after shedding 20 kobo to drop from 2 naira to 1 naira 80 kobo per share, the top volume. Transcorp led the day's top trades with 147.15 million shares valued at 205.68 million naira. This is it on Business 360. My name is Bladun Kim. Thank you for watching.